Jesse and I just got out of Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance in 3D. And this is probably unsafe, so let's take these off.
More than likely, the windows look a little weird.
And there's a person pulling out in front of us, so you know. You combine that with that, and there you go. Okay.
I'm a super safe driver.
So I guess we'll start with what we were expecting out of the movie. Which, I mean, I wasn't expecting too much. It's a Nick Cage movie on top of the fact that it's Ghost Rider. The first one wasn't great. So, I mean, you kind of just go into it wanting to have fun and expecting some cool graphics. And we'll start with the graphics. We'll get to the nitty-gritty later. But the graphics were actually really nice. A lot of small touches I thought were very, very interesting. The leather that was bubbling and melting. I thought all that was a little more visually dynamic, even though that's not how the character is in the comics. A little more visually dynamic on film than in the first one.
Definitely.
As far as the villains go, you had basically only a couple human villains, and then you had Blackout. Well, they never called him Blackout on there, but that's who that is. And he has the ability to rot stuff, and that graphic was used pretty well when he was rotting things. And we'll get back to my favorite scene in the movie, which involves his powers. And then you have the devil himself. They call him Rourke in it. And I can't think of that actor's name, but he was in there, and old guy kind of looks like Shemp from the Three Stooges.
He really does.
Yeah. So, and then you had, of course, just some priests, including one with tattoos all over his face, like Christopher Lambert. Which
and he
was
gets
funny
to use a sword.
For a second. And he was going to cut his head off.
Yeah,
he was going to
exactly.
quickening him.
How cool is that? And then he's going to go, ah, in the lightning.
So, yeah, that was, as far as the movie goes, the storyline worked for what they were trying to do and for how the cinema goers are as far as action movies go. You had the love interest, you had a child, you had the hero, and you had his lovable sidekick, a drunken Idris Elba, however you say his name, and he was actually good in it. And I'll tell you this, the first 5 minutes of the movie is an Idris Elba chase fight scene. Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're off to a good start.
I like that guy. He was in The Losers.
Yeah, he was also in Thor. He played Heimdall, the gatekeeper. Yeah. He's a great actor. He was in The Wire. On The Wire. But, I mean, man, it was... I'm saying all the good stuff first so we can end it with the bad stuff. Music was cool. They had some cool little music they used in different parts. And, well, what was your favorite part? Absolutely. Like, if someone said, I need to hear a positive part of this movie, what was your favorite part?
Man, see, that's tough because there were so many.
Favorite as far as actual good, not like, oh, that was so bad it was funny. Because I know what you're talking about, and we'll get to that.
Really, truly, in all honesty, and it's kind of weird, but my favorite parts in the entire show were when they showed almost like a comic book sequence on the screen.
Oh yeah, they had
and we're describing
transition.
And we're describing the story or a narrative of some sort for the Ghost Rider himself. That was pretty cool. Yeah. The cinematics of the entire movie, I was actually pretty impressed with the style.
I thought things moved really quickly, and it was kind of strange, but at the same time, I guess for a character it made sense.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a little messed up in the head.
And they explain more about Zarathos and all that, and I think that was a good idea, because this movie could end most likely will end the Ghost Rider franchise. But if they do continue to go on with it, we know where he's at right now, and you can do a lot with him. The kid named Danny the entire time, they never drop a last name, but it's safe to assume, I imagine, that it's Danny Ketch, who will be the future Ghost Rider. Oh boy. My favorite scene, Blackout gains his powers, and he has the power to make things rot and deteriorate. He's driving an ambulance, and he reaches into this lunchbox, and he pulls out a sandwich, and it rots in his hand. And then
almost immediately.
Yeah, and then he reaches back in, and he pulls out an apple, and it rots in his hand. And he goes, that's so weird. And then he reaches in and pulls out a Twinkie, and he's holding on to it, and nothing happens. So he squeezes it really tight, and nothing happens. And he goes, okay, and eats it.
Pops it, eats it.
Which was funny, because it was like, yeah, Twinkies, they don't ever go bad.
No, never.
So that was funny, and it's like, the movie had a lot of funny scenes, including what I'm getting to now, the worst scene of the movie. Nick Cage, not even Ghost Rider, Nick Cage and this woman that's the woman interest, they they go to a nightclub to get some information on this guy, because even though Nick Cage can track people, well, not just the kid, he can track the other guy, because the devil even says to him, you can't track the kid, but he can still track you.
Exactly.
So Nick Cage's Ghost Rider can track that guy, yet they still need to get information on where he's at, which makes no sense to me. But let's forget that.
From an anonymous nightclub owner.
Yeah. And so the nightclub owner is a bad man. And Nick Cage has a speech to him, which involves some of the craziest Nick Cage dialogue ever, including, at first it was, "You're a bad man!" And then our favorite part, which was,
"Come at the door!"
"You see, this thing inside me, he's inside, and he's going at the door!" It was like, what the hell? Honestly, it made no sense. It was absolutely insane.
It was insane, but like I said, while it was insane, and at the moment you're like, really? Afterwards, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you know what? It was funny.
Zarathos is supposed to be insane, and whenever Zarathos takes over the Nick Cage Ghost Rider, whenever Zarathos takes over, he starts to lose his mind in the process, laughs and stuff like that. So
I actually said at the end of the movie that in this one, it seems to me almost like Nick Cage plays a better Ghost Rider than he does Johnny Blaze.
Oh yeah, because Nick Cage used the mocap suit and the way he walked and kind of...
And I love the way they did the Ghost Rider in this one. He doesn't move like a normal person.
No, he's twitchy, and he kind of... Because he doesn't really see necessarily, he senses. Yeah. So he kind of sways whenever he's standing still, and when he senses something, he turns very quickly
twitches his head real quick, and I love that. That's cool.
And Ghost Rider looked great. They turned the skull kind of blackish and burnt looking more than the white skull in the first movie, which, again, visually looks better, and it makes the fire look better. He also had this plume of dark black smoke coming off of him at all times, which I also like. But all in all, the movie... If you're gonna see the movie in theaters, it's in 3D, so that's great. Go see it in the day showing, like early in the morning, so that's cheaper. Don't pay full price; you'll be disappointed. But if you go to like a matinee viewing, I think you'll like it. I think you'll go, that was bad.
Yeah, coming from the person who likes all movies,
terrible.
The movie entertained me. I was entertained through the entire thing, whether I was laughing at a situation that probably wasn't meant to be laughed at, or if I was just actually into the action and the fight scenes. I mean, the fight scenes were pretty cool.
The fight scenes were they're much better. Much better than the first movie.
I was
the big baddie fight, when he actually fought the big baddie.
Yes.
It wasn't, we're done, and that was it. I mean, it lasted a little bit, and he got some damage done to him as well, which is nice to see an actual fight.
I like the going between the cars thing.
But
that was pretty cool.
Boy, the roadkill.
Yeah, the lines.
There's some really corny lines.
Oh, it reminds me of. Did you get to see Drive Angry?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
In the very beginning.
He was Ghost Rider in that.
Yeah, pretty much. In the very beginning, he has a line that's almost set the mood for the entire movie for me. And that was when he said, he kills all the guys in the very beginning, and he goes, "You tell them I'm coming. I'm coming for them." And it's like, really? You had to reiterate? Because you tell them I'm coming isn't quite enough?
Yeah. Because why did you tell them that you're coming unless you were coming there?
Exactly.
So, yeah. This movie is much like the Drive Angry range of movies, which is crazy Nick Cage is having fun. They take his crazy pills away, and then he just kind of goes out and says things. Yeah. And he's flirting with a nurse at one point, and it's awkward, and you're like, what is trying to go on right here? But then, I don't know, just the whole thing.
But to be honest, I can't think of anyone else who could be Ghost Rider.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to go straight with Ghost Rider, you could put anyone else in there. If they wanted to make him actually kind of a horror thing.
He's supposed to be nuttier than the Squirrel Turds.
It's not that nutty. He's actually kind of a sane mind and very determined. This Ghost Rider's a little different. I like this Ghost Rider, but...
Wow, that's a beetle with flowers on it.
Yeah, that's a very hippie Beetle, even the taillights.
Hey, Lady in the Green Beetle with the flowers on it. Follow 8 Days a Geek.
Daisy. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Hey, yeah. Anyway.
So that was sidetracking, but we're driving, so
you know
that
what?
makes sense.
That happens.
So I guess we'll end it with this. I popped my shades out so I get a cool hipster look going. Whoa, watch out. Was Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance bad? Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, folks. You're watching Car Ride Reviews. I'm Jesse Miller.
I'm Brandon C. Williams.
Beautiful guy over here. We review movies on the way home, and if you'd like to watch more of them, we have our own YouTube channel for 8daysofgeek.com. Go to the website, and you can read all about us. Thanks.
Yep. And follow us on Twitter. I'm Brando Supreme.
And I'm Pen of Doom.
See you guys on Twitter.